Welcome to Subaru Ecu Flash Training Part 20. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at working with our acceleration and deceleration type fuel programming. Now, our acceleration fuel is going to be used in transient throttle events. That's where we have our throttle moving relatively rapidly. So if we're making a gear shift change, or if we're coming off the throttle or back on the throttle, we need to provide a momentary burst of additional fuel above and beyond what our mass airflow sensor is going to be registering in terms of airflow, trying to turn that into an injector pulse width. We'll be increasing the injector pulse width for a very brief period of time to match, in response to the throttle change, the burst of airflow that we're having coming into the engine. Now, when we're lifting throttle, we want to be able to shut the fuel injector down so that we go into what's known as deceleration fuel cut. This is going to be saving fuel as we're driving around, and it will impact your fuel economy. You want to make sure you tune it right. Now, either of these, acceleration or deceleration fuel, will play a role based on the injector size. So when we're changing our injectors, we have to know how to rescale them properly. We have to know what to look for within some data logs. I'm going to show you a couple examples here and what to do with our Accel spreadsheet calculator provided in the training course, so that when you're changing your injector size, you'll be going in and scaling things appropriate for either the Accel or decel type fuel, and you're going to find that everything should work out properly as you're going in and doing your tuning procedure. So we're going to have a lot to cover. Let's jump in so we can check this out. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at working with our acceleration enrichment and deceleration fuel cutoff programming in our Subaru 16-bit applications. We'll find that we have to make sure both of these are accounted for so that the car has good drivability and good fuel economy. These essentially are going to be filling in the gaps in terms of our fuel delivery as we're driving around. So in the case of acceleration enrichment, it's going to be adding a brief momentary burst of fuel in accordance to how quickly or the rate of change in our throttle movement. What we're going to be finding is, as we're driving around in part throttle situations, in steady state throttle operation, we'll find that whether we're mass airflow or speed density operation, we'll know what the air mass is entering the engine. But if we have a rapid throttle change, we'll have this burst of airflow that we can't account for. We have to go and use the rate of change in our throttle movement to characterize that burst of airflow, and in turn go and send a fuel injector pulse width that's accordance to the fuel injector size that we're dealing with and in proportion to that rate of throttle change or the airflow as it's entering the motor. We'll find that, and in the case of acceleration enrichment, it's applying the fuel injector pulse width extremely quick and also decaying it away extremely quick. So it's only going to be having this very, very quick burst of injector pulse width increase and then scaling it back down to the normal base pulse width as your throttle settles out and you settle back into normal steady state type of conditions. So it's improving our drivability. Without acceleration enrichment, we would have momentary lean burst as we have throttle changes, and then therefore we'd have these hesitations as we're driving. It would be unsmooth, and we'll find that the drivability would suffer with our vehicle. So it's important that we're scaling the acceleration enrichment properly. Now, if we're going to a larger fuel injector size, we'll find if we don't renormalize and scale some of the programming tables for the tip-in or the acceleration enrichment, as it's known. Tip-in enrichment's the Subaru terminology here in the programming, but acceleration enrichment's more the general term I'm talking about, going in and increasing the pulse width based on the airflow bursts as we're giving throttle changes. We're going to be finding that if we don't rescale and renormalize some of the programming tables, that we're going to get into a situation where it's actually going to be running too rich, and we'll find that we are constantly pumping excess fuel into the engine, and we'll find that could create drivability problems as well. Okay, having rich tip-in, we don't want to have a rich tip-in, we don't have a lean tip-in, we need to have appropriate amount of fuel that's scaled and added in accordance to the throttle change and accordance to the fuel injector size. So we're going to look at how to scale that in this video. We're going to be taking a look at our actual Accel spreadsheet calculator that I provided in the training course. It's going to allow you to essentially have hands-off calculation for the tables. It's going to show you exactly how to renormalize them based on the fuel injector size that you're dealing with. Now, let's talk about deceleration fuel cut. The decel fuel cut is going to be the opposite of the acceleration enrichment. It's going to be when we lift throttle and we're actually decelerating down into idle, or we're just decelerating. If, let's say, we're cruising on the highway and you lift your foot off the throttle for maybe 5 seconds, 20 seconds, we'll find in that situation, we need to shut off the fuel injector. The fuel injector doesn't need to pulse fuel into the engine because we're in this, this momentum type of deceleration. We'll find that the momentum of the engine as it's spinning, it's in gear, will keep the engine running. So we can shut off the fuel injector. That's going to save a lot of fuel over the course of hours and hours of driving. So we'll find that we definitely want to implement a deceleration fuel cut. Now, in the same kind of idea of scaling our deceleration fuel cut programming in accordance to the fuel injector size, we're gonna have that same exact kind of concept here with our decel cut as we found in our Accel cut. So we need to make sure we're accounting for our injector size based on when we're telling the ECU to shut off the pulse width. So it's gonna be part of the calculation, as we're gonna be finding here. Make a bit more sense when we get to that portion of the video going in and actually programming and dealing with it. So the first thing I wanna do is just quickly jump into a stock ROM. Let's identify the tables that we need to program and work with, and then we'll start to just break this down a little bit, and we'll take a look at our spreadsheet calculator and learn how to program the tables according to the injector size that we're dealing with. Then we'll jump into the carburetor ROM and take a look at that programming for our Accel-based fuel, because they are slightly different. Again, there's a lot more tables to program within the carburetor ROM in accordance to Accel, or tip-in fuel as they're going to be calling it here. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.